Solo queue can be very annoying. A lot of the times teams aren't on the same page, sometimes your randoms seem like they're playing with their monitors off, and sometimes it feels like no matter what you cannot do anything right. Well, fear no more. Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down a few tips for you solo queue warriors, so even on a map that is as bad as Kings Canyon, you can still climb. Now, you guys entrust GameLeap to bring you Apex tips because we're the best. So guys, why not trust Manscaped to take care of your body because they're the best in men's grooming care. Manscaped and GameLeap have recently partnered up because we want you guys to go into spring smelling the best that you can. And Manscaped was actually really kind and sent me a care package including some of their amazing items like this shampoo and conditioner mix, their body wash, some deodorant, and even some body spray. Now I really like this stuff. It's really small, it's compact, it fits perfectly in my gym bag, so after I'm done working out I don't smell like raunchy swamp ass. And although I play Apex and don't talk to females, I'm sure if I did they would all compliment how amazing I smell after using Manscaped products. So if you guys want to smell amazing too, go click the link in the description, pick yourself up some product, but don't forget to use code HOSTESS at checkout for 20% off plus free shipping. So go now. Now, for all the new people here, you might be wondering, what do I know about solo queue? And you would be correct. Most of the time I'm running with other high level players that have at least been Masters or Predator before. But I have actually solo queued quite a bit, and even in Season 8 I did solo to Masters, and that happened to be on Kings Canyon as well, so I do know some things. So let's just start this off with tip number 1, and that is you cannot control randoms. The biggest thing that I hear from people coming over to my stream and asking me for advice is I do not know what I'm supposed to do when they don't listen. Well, you have to remember that they are also most likely solo queuing as well. You don't know them and they don't know you. Why should they listen to your calls and your advice when you're the same rank? A lot of the time people try barking orders at random and it makes them just mute you. No one likes to be told what to do, especially by a Marlin rando. Instead, what you should be doing is trying to suggest stuff instead by either pinging a location or using your microphone and saying, hey guys, we should try this. Or what do you guys think about this plan? That way you're using more of a helping hand style rather than a hard shove. It makes people a lot more likely to work with you and you could see a lot more success with it. Now, sometimes even when you're doing that, teammates won't listen. Then that's perfectly fine. You can't be getting your way every game. That's unrealistic. And as a solo queuer, you need to be able to adapt to what your teammates are doing. So if they want to go somewhere, go with them. You're better off trying to help them than to just let them die and make things harder on yourself. But you know, sometimes things can go sideways and your teammates may die, but that leads perfectly into tip number 2, and that is don't be afraid to leave them behind. One thing that people always get wrong, like all the time, is they think that if their team dies, they have to either die trying to get the banners or pull out some random anime protagonist philosophy type thing and avenge their death. That isn't even close to being accurate. You don't have to do that. If your teammates just had a train ran on them and there are now 3 guys chasing you, what makes you think that you're going to be able to 1v3? If you couldn't 3v3, you think you're all of a sudden gonna pull out a win? Not likely. Just leave and make it out alive. You can then either wrap back around for banners when they move on to the next fight, or you're gonna have to go for placement points, but that's always a better option for climbing. Most of the time players think that their hard stuck is because they're just throwing away any possible gains they may get from a game all because their team died. Your team is dead, not you. The game isn't over yet, so why do you act like it is? And if you're one of the people that think you're too good to play for placement, then that is an ego issue that you're gonna have to deal with on your own. I can't really help you get over that. The ranked meta is what it is, and no matter if you think it's healthy for the game or not, placement points are strong and they will help you reach new goals. So if your team wants to die, let them die and play your own game. You can still very easily climb without having people with you. Most of the time on Kings Canyon, fights get really drawn out and you can actually find a decent spot to wait it out. People die very quickly in this game. Now, next up is tip number 3, and that is to use decent legends for solo queuing. Now, I know a lot of people want to use the legend that they enjoy using. It's a comfort pick for them, they have the most hours on them. It does make sense, I get where you're coming from. But if you really want to stack the odds in your favor, you need to use a legend that works really well with the solo queue playstyle. You need someone who can easily move around in fights and not be pinned down. Someone that can take new angles, off angles, and still be completely safe. And there are really only 3 main legends that I do suggest for this, those being Wraith, Octane, and Valkyrie. Valkyrie is by far the strongest out of the 3 and is my number 1 go-to whenever I solo queue. She is very good in the meta right now and can carry you in a lot of games. Though if Octane or Wraith are more your playstyle, you can do very well with them as well. Their tacticals offer a lot of different playstyle abilities because you can just get out of situations if things go sideways. Though some legends like Bloodhound, Loba, or Ashe are decent choices as well. You just need someone who can be slippery if needed. Most of the time in fights, your randoms will just continue to peek the same angles over and over. You need to be the one taking off angles and really making advantages in fights. So you need a legend that can really pair with that extremely well. But now some people might be wondering about legends like Caustic or Gibraltar because of how strong they are on this map. And while the 2 thick boys are both very strong legends that can carry fights, they really rely on teammates to get them in and out of those fights. And most of us can agree you can't really rely on randoms to do anything. They will leave you stranded a lot of the time and that will cause you to lose RP. So yes, they are strong legends, but just not for solo queue. They're more of a team-oriented playstyle. Same thing goes with Crypto. Crypto is a fantastic legend in the meta currently, but his downside is he requires a full team playing around him to really reach his maximum potential. And most of the time, your randoms will not be on the same page as you and they will not play around you and leave you left for dead. So picking the right legend is extremely crucial for climbing as a solo queuer. But moving on though, tip number 4 is that solo queue is not easy. A lot of people look at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, or other areas of social media and see people hitting all of these ranks and think that because they're not there, they should just give up. Soloing this game is tough. It takes a huge toll on your mental health and you really have to push through a lot in order to climb in the solo queue ranks. I know I personally tilt a lot when I solo queue, mainly for the fact that if I die, I want to die to something that was my fault and that I can change or work on so that in the future I can grow from it. But sometimes that just is not possible when you're in solo queue and you can literally play a situation as best as you can and you will not be able to pull out the win or clutch it up. But sometimes things are just out of your control and that was really hard for me to accept. I want to be in control of every situation. The faster that you learn to just let things go and forget that game, the better you will be. Don't let last game's mistakes affect the next game. You have to just let everything slide off you and keep your mental strong. If you don't, you're gonna start tilting, and the moment that you start tilting and letting your anger make the choices for you is when you're gonna start to tank your RP, and that will just pile onto you making more mistakes because then you think you're hard stuck and you have nothing else to lose. So you're just gonna play randomly and not really have a goal in mind and just let your anger make the choices for you. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. Solo queue is always a fun topic, but if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.